hope you're hungry because we will be talking about some ethereal edible eats. You know what I'm saying? You hungry? It's about, 12:30 where I'm at Central Time. This is Achad, author of Holography, the whole writing of the arts and sciences as one educational discipline. Make sure you purchase that at your earliest convenience. You know what I'm saying? Tracker is at the bottom. Also, patreon.com/holography for all the root work or obaifo, obia video, whatever you want to call it. It's all there at the Patreon. Sign up. So I think I wanted to do this video for a while too. This was a video that it needs to be watched. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody making videos will say, "Oh, you need to watch this video." But this is something that I think that a lot of people, so I could put people's soul to rest. You know what I'm saying? Because people, when it comes to eating and dieting and conscious community and all this, these constructs and these groupthink activities, people go overboard with, when it comes to diet. Because when you come into this conscious thing, there are certain taboos that people adhere to, or they stay away from, at least on social media. It's things that they don't eat, and they don't condone people eating certain things when you're trying to be woke, conscious, and spiritual. But having been a vegan for 3 straight years, vegan, vegetarian, it's all the same thing. They like sitting here trying to make a distinction, like, oh, vegans, they eat no animal products, no milk or no nothing. They're just straight vegetables, and vegetarian ain't so strict. But I was doing that for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Right at the time where I was coming into the conscious community thing. You know what I'm saying? Like around what, 2012, 13, around there. So yeah, I was doing it from 2012 to like 2015. So that's 3 years. But I remember when I was also in high school, I had a natural inclination to be a vegetarian. There was no woke teachers or no woke YouTube videos or books or nothing like that. It was just a natural urging to be like, you know what? I don't want to eat meat right now. I just want to stick to salads. And this is in high school. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, middle school, intermediate school. Because some people say middle, some say intermediate. So from what, it was like 6, 7, 8 is usually that, or 7, 8 grade or whatever. So all the way back when I was like 13, 14 years old, I had a natural inclination to start eating vegetables, and strictly vegetables. That's it. But that kind of went away. I started eating meat again. So then, like I said, coming into 2013, and 2012 is when I started doing the vegan thing seriously, or the vegetarian thing. And then when I got into this whole conscious community thing, like around 2013, you know what I'm saying, I was, relating to other people, like other conscious people. I got on Instagram and started getting into what's called a group think. Whenever you have a community or a group of people, they have a set of either written or unwritten, spoken or unspoken rules that people abide by. So for example, when it comes to dieting, for the most part, a lot of conscious community people claim that they don't eat pork, they don't eat meat. They trying to do the pescatarian thing where they just eat fish and vegetables and rice and stuff like that. Chicken falafel with the rice, you know what I'm saying? Chicken kebab with rice, you know what I mean? You got that from Mike Epps. You know what I'm saying? They was starting eating that type of stuff. So I fell in line. I was already doing my vegetarian vegan thing. You know what I'm saying? Why not? I was already getting that, then, dealing with people that, were supposed to be experts, or, gurus in the field of cuisine and eating, in the conscious community. Like, I remember watching a video where this dude, conscious dude, he said he was cooking the kale, but the way he was cooking it was, there was no heat involved, unless you want to say your hands is the heat. He was putting, some sort of extra virgin olive oil onto the kale, and he was massaging the kale, and he said it was cooking. You may have watched the video. I think you may have seen it. He was, he had the extra virgin olive oil, and he was massaging it into the kale, and he said, this is how you cook kale. So you ain't supposed to put it in the pot or the saucepan or whatever on the stove. You're supposed to massage the olive oil, extra virgin. You know what I'm saying? Extra virgin. That means, extra virgin means, it means, You ain't have sex yet, and you ain't even thinking about it. So you could be a virgin and be thinking about sex. So that means you ain't extra virgin. You a virgin, but not extra. See, an extra virgin, that's somebody that ain't thinking about sex, ain't doing no type of sex or whatsoever. But you know what I'm trying to say. So that's how you cook the kale. So I started following behind, following these customs and comedic diets. And I remember there was one book that I read, one of the first books I ever read, dealing with any type of woke conscious stuff, which was what's his name? Muada Ashby. He has a comedic diet book. So that was something I was sticking to heavily, you know what I'm saying? I had that as, my what's it called? What's that called? Kindle or something like that. Nook, the Barnes and Noble ebook reader, whatever it's called, had it on there, and I was following behind that. You know what I'm saying? Do it all the comedic diet. You know what I mean? Vegetables, massaging the olive oil into the tomatoes and the potatoes and the, you know what I'm saying, the greens, beans. You know what I mean? But I remember when I was back in middle school and I realized that nobody had to urge me into actually being a vegetarian or a vegan. It just came upon me to be that or to do that for a time. So again, it wasn't no one influencing me. It was just something innately or instinctively or intuitively saying that, oh, it's time to eat vegetables now. So this is the point of what I'm saying here in this live stream, symbolic dieting. You need to start following your intuition more, not just even in dieting, but in every aspect of your life. You know what I'm saying? Be more intuitive, because the more intuitive you are, the more self-directed you become, and the less you have to rely on other people's opinions, thoughts, expertise, quotation marks, and whatever. Because if you're led by that, then it's like, whatever you're doing, that's something that you as soul, or you as that, inner entity is doing. Because you can be led totally astray by dumb niggas in this conscious thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about as far as, their intellect or whatever. I'm talking about where you're spiritually dumb. You spiritually retarded. You know what I'm saying? Now I know that word retardation and retarded is kind of, politically incorrect, but I'm not using it in the sense of, someone having developmental disabilities or anything like that. I'm talking about in its strictest sense, in its etymology, retard. That means you're holding something back, or you're not going forward, like you're being stagnated. That's what I mean by retarded. So it's a lot of spiritually retarded people in this conscious community thing. And then, just in the world at large. That's what I'm telling you. Go with your intuition. Because again, me going back to middle school, no one had to tell me to be vegetarian for that time or a vegan. I just did it. It was innately in me to do it at that particular duration of time. So then I remembered that, going into 2015, where it was like that same prompting, what I'm saying, that same intuitive leading or prompting led me into stop being a vegan and a vegetarian. I stopped it right into the 2015. So 3 years of doing a vegan vegetarian thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's taboo in a conscious sense. But again, are we going to follow this community group think of people that we don't know what they do off of, social media? Like, who knows what people do off of social media? You don't know what I can be doing. I probably mud wrestle with white girls today. You never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. I mean, I don't do it, but how would you know? So you got a lot of people sitting here being judgmental and, trying to sit here and enforce a group think when you don't know what these motherfuckers do outside of this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is a pageantry. You don't know what a pageant is? Where people dress up and they act like they saved the world from kid hunger, and they save the children and save the ducks from the oil spills. You don't know what they do outside of the cameras, out off stage. You don't know what's going on backstage. And then you follow them behind people that, they don't even know, they're just saying stuff. Because I could be doing that now. I could be just saying stuff. But that's what I'm telling you. I'm leading you back to yourself. The destination is always self with me, no matter what we're talking about here. So that means you need to follow your intuition. I would encourage you and prompt you, and it would behoove you to deal with your intuition first and foremost, because you can navigate and sidestep a lot of the bullshit out here. So, like for example, if your intuition is telling you that you should be vegan right now, and I'm telling you that you should be, eating red meats, I mean, who you gonna follow? You know what I'm saying? Or in reverse, if your spirit is telling you you need to eat red meats and leave this vegetarian shit alone for a minute, well, who you gonna follow? If I start saying, "Oh, you need to start eating lettuce and kale and chard," niggas is out here eating chard. You know what I'm saying? I don't like chard. I like kale better. I like massaging my kale with the, you know what I'm saying, with the extra olive oil, like the comedic dude said. You know what I mean? So go by your own intuitive reasoning or intuitive analysis of things. Because then, like I said, we're talking about symbolic dieting. So that's how I'm eating now. I'm eating based on what I'm being, what's intuitively being channeled into me to go ahead and do. Because why would you want to be guided by people who are misguided, first and foremost? And then, secondly, they think they know that, what they talking about. So, for example, you got people out here banging this whole vegan vegetarian thing. How do you know that's for everybody? How do you know that one diet is for everybody in the fucking world to eat or to stick to? How do you know? So everybody should be vegan, everybody should be vegetarian. And then you got motherfuckers sitting here making statements that are completely false. Like, for example, saying that your ancestors was vegans. No, the fuck they wasn't. Show me the evidence that says that your ancestors only ate vegetables. And then tell me if that was across the board. Like it was all around the world that everybody was strictly on vegetables. Because a lot of people like to, tie this shit back to Africa and saying that all the tribes of Africa, they just it's just this whole general romanticizing of Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like anything an African do, I'm supposed to do, right? That's how it go. Nah, get that bullshit out of here. That's not how it's supposed to go. Not with me. Everything the African has done and should do and is doing, that's what I should be doing. Yeah, I never even been to Africa. Even if my source, the source of life is from this one continent among seven of them. You know what I'm saying? Even if that's the case, I was born and raised here in the Mexico or America. So not to say that I shouldn't, look and see what they're doing and get some pointers or see if there's anything that would help my situation. But I don't have to, stick to what some African is doing. And no disrespect to them, you know what I mean? But it's these conscious community people that be sitting here, with the group think. And the moment you don't do something that's, African or Kemetic or Hebrew Israelite or whatever, you ostracize, you ousted. You know what I mean? Go by your intuition. Because I've been through several diets over the course of my life, and perhaps you did too. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps you did too. Like for example, when I first got into my kung fu training that I got with my sifu, it was we was supposed to be doing an insanity diet. So that's heavy carbs. So that's eating a lot of breads, large steaks. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of those carbs because the type of training we were doing. You know what I'm saying? I had to make sure that I had that high level of food in me so I can use it to burn. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like if you was even trying to body build. See, what I'm trying to get at is you should be dieting according to what you're trying to achieve. That's pretty much it. And then also, first and foremost, dealing with your intuition, letting your intuition tell you, what's the the pathway to go in. But like I said, for that time where I was, into kung fu and training on my kung fu, and that that first year, it was all about the insanity diet. You know what I'm saying? Eating like 4 times a day, heavy carbs, and da 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 da. Because again, you're doing this heavy training, this extensive, training that you're doing for kung fu. According to my seafood, that was what I was supposed to be doing for that time. You know what I mean? And like I said, them 3 years that I was doing the whole vegan vegetarian thing, I slipped up a couple times. You know what I mean? Yeah, I had a family member that tricked the shit out of me. She got me with that one. Like she cooked some sausage and put it on the stove and walked away. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in the kitchen, like on my computer, and I'm smelling. What I'm saying? I'm a vegan vegetarian, but I'm smelling this oily, juicy ass sausage scent in the air. So I cracked. I folded under pressure. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too proud of it, but for that time, you get challenged like that because you go from most of your life eating meat, and then just these 3 years, you think you just going simply drop it. No, because it still tastes good, it still smell good, and sometimes you slip. You know what I'm saying? But that was that I probably slipped like maybe like a 2 or 3 times during that 3 year run. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like heavy eating, like I just it was ravenous. I just had to eat a whole big ass fucking plate of meat or anything like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. But that happens. You know what I mean? But getting back to the topic here of symbolic dieting, eating according to what you are trying to achieve. So if you want to be this vegan vegetarian, you want to be like a gorilla, because that's a lot of, you know, um, people's, proof of, you can eat vegetables and still be strong and, get your proteins or whatever. Do your thing. But all I'm saying is eat according to what you are trying to achieve. So when I was on the insanity diet, that was conducive to what I was doing because of the vigorous training I was going through, right? And if I'm trying to be vegan vegetarian because I'm trying to, in quotation marks, you know, there's several reasons why people choose this whole vegetarian vegan thing. Like for example, I heard people say that you take on the emotions of the animal when it was killed. Again, there's no substantial proof of that. It's just groupthink. Somebody said that, and then everybody else got along with it. But how do you know that's true to it? How true is that? How exact is that? You know what I'm saying? Oh, the cow was depressed, so when it got killed, the depression went into the steak, and then when you eat the steak, you become depressed. What type of shit is that? There was times where I ate the steak before even trying to be vegan, and there was no depression whatsoever. In fact, it was the exact opposite. It was elation. I was delighted. That was a juicy ass fucking steak. It was medium done, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't too, cooked. It had a little red, pink center to it. Shit was juicy. You know what I mean? Juicy. And I didn't feel depressed after I ate it. So now we're getting into the whole thing of, what you believe and what you are programmed to, accept. Because after hearing somebody say, "Oh well, if the cow or if the pig was, had fear, and then you ate the bacon, now you got the fear." So now you start believing in that. So then once you start eating the bacon, now you got fear. But before you wasn't afraid. You had grease all over your lip. You know what I'm saying? So there was only fear there when someone introduced you to the thought of it. So that kind of precedes, or how should I say this? It takes precedence over what you're actually eating, what you're believing, and what you want to accept in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Now let me be a little bit dark. So let's say you was on the menu and I started eating your flesh, eating pieces of your leg or pieces of your arm or pieces of your thigh. You know what I'm saying? On some cannibals. You know what I mean? Now, once I eat fillet of thigh out of your leg, right? Am I supposed to be depressed in having these feelings of fear and drudgery and all that after I eat a piece of your flesh? Only if I believe I'm going to be that way. So this is all about your mental programming too. And it does tie back to, this thing of, oh, black ancestors, all they ate was vegetables. No, where are you getting that from? Because to me, this whole thing about being vegan and vegetarian, this shit is more 20th century than it is anything else. You know what I mean? And if you want to think of, look at it in terms of astrology, is right in line with the whole coming of Aquarius, because this is some liberal type of shit. When you start eating vegan and vegetarian, it's very liberal. And when you see the word liberal, you should start tying that word liberal to Aquarian age or Aquarian eon, because that Aquarian sign, that Aquarius, represents those liberal freedom, community, that type of thing, right? So you know that your ancestors were kind of before or ahead of that whole Aquarian age coming to pass. So why would they be sitting here being liberal like that? Now, I am against, for example, like, the whole factory farming thing. I'm not too keen on that. So I don't like eating factory farm meat. No, that's not something I fuck with. I usually try to go for something that's grass fed or, what I'm saying, pasture raised or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because now I do eat meat. Now, here's another thing that these conscious community vegan vegetarians don't also include in what they're saying is, when do you eat? Okay, the focus is always on what not to eat, but the focus is never on when you should not be eating. Because I do fasting as well. You know what I'm saying? There's people that do, there's all different types of intermittent fasting, water fasting, juice fasting, you know what I'm saying? There's all types of fastings. Don't eat food fasting, you know what I'm saying? There's all types. You can pick one and see if it works. You know what I mean? But I never hear none of these people talking about when you should be eating. You know what I'm saying? Because that's also important to dieting. You know how they say you shouldn't be eating right before you go to sleep? How come that's not really a topic? So you got vegans and vegetarians eating all this heavy vegan food, you know what I'm saying, right before they snooze. You know what I mean? And let's address this in this video since we talk about food, right? How come these vegan vegetarians be sitting here creating dishes that look like meat? Vegan wings, vegan ribs, vegan hot dogs. What is that? Just eat the fucking vegetable, yo. Why you gotta turn it into a hot dog? Why you gotta turn it into a rib? What is a vegan rib? How do you even make that? So you're saying in the vegetable kingdom they have ribs? Just eat the fucking vegetable. You know what I'm saying? Cook it or massage it like the kale. Why are you turning it into like a meat product? Vegan steak. What the fuck is vegan steak? Explain that. I didn't know vegetables had steaks. Just eat the fucking vegetable, bro. Turn it into a smoothie. Why you gotta turn it into, I even seen vegan chitlins before. I'm like, what is this garbage? Now, as far as I'll go, as far as like, if I was vegan again or vegetarian again, yeah, I'll sit here and eat the bean burger or, the veggie burger. Yeah, I'll eat that. But when you start talking about vegan wings and, vegan steaks and why are you shaping the vegetable matter into meat or into something that's say it looks like meat? That's wild to me. It's like you don't want to let the meat go or something. Let it go. Because I think that's also part of you becoming vegetarian vegan, letting meat go, even the concept of meat. So how does that happen? How does that work if you keep shaping the vegetable shit into, wings and turkey legs and shapes and shit like that? What? That don't make sense to me. Explain that. But anyway, I got kind of sidetracked. It's just some silly shit that you get with people that they diet woke. That's kind of the word too. Like they diet woke, or what's another way of saying it? They're woke. Instead of WOKE is WHOKE. Woke. Like Stewie Griffin from the Family Guy. Hey, woke. You ain't woke. You woke. Woke. You say the H sound before the W sound. Woke. You feel me? Again, eat according to what your intuition is telling you, what you are feeling intuitively, spiritually on that level. You know what I'm saying? And then also, second, in a secondary sense, eating according to what you are trying to achieve. What are you trying to achieve? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, if you're a bodybuilder, I'm pretty sure you got to eat these, thick ass tomahawk steaks. You know what I'm saying? Tri-tip steaks, pecana steaks. You know what I'm saying? Big ass fucking. I'll be on Instagram and I'll be seeing these videos in Explore page where it mostly be white dudes where they have these big ass fucking tomahawk. They like this fucking big with the bone, long ass bone on it, and they put it on these grills, and it'd be all red. And like, damn, did you cook it? You just cooked the outside of it. They love tartar and shit. And like it's raw as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Or I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm not here to be a bodybuilder, but if that's what you're trying to achieve, why would you ever sit here and diet against what you're trying to achieve? You know what I'm saying? And then the whole thing of these taboo things, like for example, eating pork or eating beef, or any of these things. It's like that's religious. This is how I know niggas is religious based on that. Like they claim that they're not religious, but you're taking on this religious custom. Like, for example, the whole Islam thing where they don't eat pork, or the Hindu thing where they don't eat cows. I'm neither his Islam or Hindu. So why do I have to follow that custom? You know what I'm saying? Why do I have to follow the custom? So somehow eating pigs now, or eating, say cows or whatever, I'm somehow, desecrating my spirit of somehow. It's corny. It's whack. It's lame. It's religious. That's what it is. That's how I know you and your religion. Now, like I said, it's not all across the board, because if you make a personal choice that you don't want to eat meat, fine. I've been there before. 3 years of doing it. You know what I'm saying? 3 years. You know what I mean? Three whole years of doing that. I understand. But like I said, when you get into this whole conscious spiritual group think type thing, and then you're not eating it just because everybody else ain't, or you part of your group, it's like, I'm like, nah, that's kind of corny. That's kind of whack. Because it's not even just the meat; it's what's the quality of the meat. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna eat any of this type of meats, make sure. I would only sit here and tell you, make sure it's quality meat. Because if you want to talk ancestry and shit like that, they were eating meats that aren't the same as they are for the most part today. It wasn't factory farmed. They went out and hunted. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when I was a jit or a child, I remember my dad and my uncles went out and hunted a pig. And the taste of that pig is nothing how these pigs out in the supermarket taste. You know what I'm saying? That gamey taste of deer and all that shit. Like that's what the pig tasted like. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of, in maroon culture, if you're talking about, Jamaican maroons or Carolina maroons, Georgia maroon, any of that maroon culture, that pig is very important. You know what I'm saying? It's a staple of the diet. You know what I mean? So again, I'm not Islam. You know what I mean? I'm not Muslim. I'm not Hindu. You know what I mean? So I don't have to follow those customs. But again, you let somebody sit here and give you those suggestions that, somehow the pig is somehow, desecrating you, or it's unsacred. Nah, that's according to their fucking religion. You know what I'm saying? That's according to their creed or whatever. I don't follow that creed, so I don't have to be into that diet. You know what I'm saying? And then they got these phrases like "no pork on your fork" or whatever. Look, man, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you're saying that one diet should fit all, and that's not the way it works. Because again, you eat according to what you're trying to achieve. So even if you had to be on a diet where you just eat fucking candy and cake, you know what I'm saying? Candy and cake diet. It's legitimate based on what are you trying to achieve. Because a lot of people's diet is based off of them trying to be healthy body-wise on a physical level. You know what I'm saying? And my dieting transcends that. I diet according to, the type of spirit or the type of spiritual practice that I'm doing. So now I'm not sitting here eating just to keep my body healthy. No, that's not what I'm eating for. I'm eating for the spiritual symbolism. See, this is why the title of this live stream is Symbolic Dieting. I'm dieting according to the symbols and that's involved with it. You feel me? So, for example, if tomorrow I want to start a bamboo diet, then that's, some symbolism with the bamboo is that it's Asians dealing with, that whole, Dao De Ching or Tao Chi Ching, however you want to pronounce it. That panda bears eat, the koala bears and shit eat the fucking bamboo. You know what I'm saying? That's a spiritual symbolic dieting because you're calling that type of atmosphere or spirit to you when you eat like that. Has nothing to do with, I would never do that just for my physical health. This is how this is where they at, in their spiritual development. They're only eating for their physical health. That's it. That's a low form of dieting. You know what I mean? Oh, we got somebody in here from Germany. What's good? You know what I'm saying? Guten Tag. I think I used to take German in high school. Guten Tag. What's going on? I think that means good day, right? Guten Tag. But anyway, yeah, eating according to spirit. What is your intuition? What are the messages you're getting from being able to meditate and have visions and dreams and doing divination instead of having a one size fit all diet? No, that's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? And then there's the extreme diets, like for example, you got people that do the breatharian thing. You know what I mean? Because you know how vegans look down on carnivores. You know what I'm saying? Herbivores look down on carnivores. You know what I'm saying? And this whole human thing. Well, guess what, herbivore? The breatharians are looking down on all of us because they don't even eat any vegetable or meat. So what you got to say about that? You know what I mean? They eat air. I mean, I eat air too, but not exclusively. So technically, we're all breatharians, but I guess with the term breatharian, you're saying that these people exclusively just breathe for their sustenance. Now, I don't know if I can go to that extreme. I have, what I'm saying, just doing it, from day to day or something like that, not as a whole week, monthly thing, doing it like that. But, if you want to, what I'm saying, venture into it, see what's up. Because again, even the breatharianism is, like I said, you're consuming something according to what you are trying to achieve. You know what I'm saying? So if you think that, you're being polluted by the foods that, more normal people eat or vegans eat, you know what I'm saying? Then do your thing. But it's all in the mind, baby. It's all mental. Because I can eat a bunch of shit that you call garbage and never have a health issue in my life. Have you ever heard of that? A lot of Southern folk in, United States, healthy as you know what I'm saying, super healthy, smoking all types of cigarettes and drinking all types of beer, but they healthy as hell. Like, how the fuck did you get that? Living to like 110 years old, smoking nudies, drinking you know what I'm saying, Budweisers and shit, all types of fatty porks and fatty meats. You know what I'm saying? Healthy as I don't know what. But you sitting over here and you're fucking new age science talking about, oh, you're polluting yourself by eating that shit. It's all in the mind, baby. It's all in your mental programming. Yep, that's where it's at. Because what you by doing that, you're saying that you have to eat these physical foods in order to maintain your health. But what if we transcend that understanding and you maintain your health based on how you're mentally and spiritually programming yourself? So that means I can eat anything and never experience any type of adverse effect. How about trying to achieve that? Conscious person, occult person, new ager. How about doing it that way? But again, going back to the chorus of this video, eat according to what you're trying to achieve, or eat according to what you are intuitively understanding. You know what I'm saying? Ethereal edible eats. You know what I mean? There's people out here eating edible dirt. I never had it, but I want to try it. I want to see what's so flavorful or healthy about edible dirt. Tell me what edible dirt can do for me. If that's something you've done or you're doing, tell me about that. Edible red dirt. Clay, I think is a clay that some people be eating out here. You know what I mean? Not the industrial, Play-Doh kid clay, but natural earth and red clay. They be getting a meal out of that, eating that for supper. You know what I mean? And like I said, these people never tell you about how you should be eating or when, because that also goes into your dieting. You know what I'm saying? So you, like I said, going back to the vegan vegetarian, they be eating all these heavy vegan just because there's no meat in it. They think they in the clear. But again, it's still heavy. It's a lot of chemicals in a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And whatever agent that they're using to, keep the vegetarian ingredients together, that could be egg, bro. You could be eating egg and don't know it. Tempeh, what's that nasty ass vegan cheese called? Daya cheese. That shit is disgusting. That's disgusting. If it was between me being diabetic and eating regular cheese and eating dead cheese and trying to save my life, I'm going the death route. Fuck that. I'm going towards death. Fuck it. You gonna die anyway. Everybody dies. You want to die eating dead cheese? No, I want to die eating the regular fucking fatty cheese. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. And then let me not bring up all the cases of motherfuckers turning to a vegan vegetarian diet and be cancerous and developing all these fucking conditions because of them thinking that that's the healthy route to go. Eh, eh. You know what I'm saying? Was eating vegetables and came down with some stupid ass cancer or something like that, or malnutrition. It's like, no, nigga, that vegan vegetarian was not for you. That wasn't your diet. That's dangerous sitting out here promoting a diet for everybody to do. It's like, no, you eat according to what you're trying to achieve, where you're from. I would guess your ethnicity, all that stuff goes into that. You know what I'm saying? All that goes into that. That's why I don't have a problem now eating Sunday dinners. I don't have a problem eating none of that stuff. No, I don't have a problem. Now, it's not something that I eat all throughout the week. No, I don't do it like that because that's what I chose to do for myself. That doesn't mean you have to do it that way. You know what I'm saying? But when you're called to go consume something, you know what I'm saying? You feel that this is something you need to eat. It's just like, women that's pregnant. They sitting here eating all this strange shit that they never eat, outside of that pregnancy. You know what I'm saying? Like pickled peanut butter bites. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Green beans in your cereal. Like they be eating some strange stuff, but there's a specific urge to eat that. So why would it be any different in other parts of your life? Obviously, I don't get pregnant. I'm not a woman. So, but that same urge to eat certain foods or eat certain times or certain ways is the same. It's exactly the same shit. You know what I'm saying? And then if you want to get into more of the occult side of things, like I said, you working with a certain spirits or certain entities, they're going to have a regimen for you to eat. You know what I'm saying? Outside of anything that's being told to you from conscious people or in, in the media or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because you're working with that entity or that spirit. So that entity and that spirit requires this type of sustenance from you. You know what I mean? Because that could be very specific. Like you're working with an entity and it's requiring you to eat only tropical fruits. Then that's what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? That's a form of symbolic dieting. Ethereal edible eats. Because it's a lot of people being led astray by groupthink and the shit that they see on TV and social media. You trying to go with the crowd or go with the group, but it's like, nah, that's not what you're supposed to be doing like that. Or at least that's not what I do. You know what I mean? No, I don't have any health issues, you know what I'm saying? Because of it. So when you start looking at it from a spiritual perspective rather than a physical health perspective, then you'll be in the clear. You'll be going the route that you're supposed to go when it comes to you eating something. Regardless if it goes against tradition or it goes against common sense. It's like this is what you're being called to consume based on the type of spirit you're dealing with. That's why I don't go around sitting here. I don't do this no more. I don't go around promoting my diet that I stick to right now. I don't go around promoting it. You know what I'm saying? I don't sit here and try to make you or try to shame you into eating what I eat or how I eat. It's none of your business, really. You know what I'm saying? But I know, like from time to time, people try to ask you that question. Well, what's your diet? Well, it's like I don't know if I should tell you because, like I said, I don't know if it's for you to be telling you. You know what I mean? Because I'm eating intuitively. Some people don't do that, and also eating in a disciplined manner. A lot of motherfuckers don't do that. So why should I even tell you? Why? Why should I tell you? If I told you I drink moose piss and eat bear knuckles, you know what I'm saying, at 5 o'clock each day, would you jump on that diet? Moose piss, bear knuckles, and pine needles. Would you jump on that? Are you that? Would you jump on that? See, it sounds nonsensical. It sounds like it doesn't make sense. But again, if that's what the type of spirit you're dealing with, and you're being prompted to eat that, that's what you would go into. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with my physical health. We're going beyond my physical body. Duh, it's spiritual, right? Because that's the absurdity of what a lot of people are doing. They're sitting here, eating vegetables and what I'm saying, trying to eat dead cheese and all that dumb shit, and it's not helping them health wise. So it's supposed to be healthy, but it ain't helping them in terms of their health. What a mind fuck. You know what I'm saying? What a mind fuck. So if you're going to be spiritual or a spiritualist or someone in this occult thing or a metaphysical thing, that's the approach. Be intuitive about this stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot, even though it's research information, that doesn't mean it's for you. You know what I mean? Like this whole erroneous idea around salt, for example. People think salt is their problem. No, salt doesn't cause that much of a problem for people. You're supposed to be eating that level of salt. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. Now we're getting a little bit spiritual with this. If you're eating that, some salts and make sure you have that high level of salt, you're actually dealing with the idea of salvation. Because what is salt? Salvation. salt, salvation, Salvador, soteriology, preservation. They even used natron salts when they were preserving the mummies back in ancient Kemet that have survived up until now. But you sitting here dealing with these mainstream scientists talking about, oh, it's salt that's causing a health problem. You know what I'm saying? In the black community, they always like to point it towards the black community. What if they telling you that so that you get away from the salts and get away from your own salvation? They can tell you anything to fuck up your day or fuck up your life, and you just go believe everything they say. No, nigga, run towards the salts. You know what I'm saying? Pink Himalayan, Dead Sea salt. You know what I'm saying? Natron. I don't know about natron, but like I said, this is all part of the symbolic dieting. It's not just for your body; it's for the spiritual thing you're trying to do. Now, like I said, there's people going to see this, or if I start talking about this on Instagram or broadcasting this anywhere, you're going to have dissenters. You're going to have people that's just they're going to stick to that dumbass propaganda that they're getting from mainstream science. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. There's something you probably doing right now watching this, because it goes up against your programming of thinking that these mainstream media authorities are your authority. You know what I'm saying? You look up to them for your knowledge on this stuff for the most part. You know what I mean? But if you a soul, if you're spirit, how can any physical thing have a negative effect on you? It's all about it's all you. The only thing or person causing harm to you is your own mind, your own self. And usually that's something symbolic too. You know what I mean? Because again, what if you was vegan for like 7, 8 years, and then all of a sudden, as you eating these vegetables, you start getting sick? So the first thing you probably gonna be like is, well, I probably had some bad vegetables. They was selling some diseased fucking vegetables at the supermarket I'm around. But then you go to another supermarket and start eating those vegetables and be getting the same effect. You go to another supermarket, you're getting the same effect. So it's not necessarily if the vegetables is diseased or not. It's you as a spirit telling your physical self that this ain't the way no more. Goofy. You know what I mean? Listen to your intuition or something. Listen to some spirit. You know what I mean? Learn how to read your existence. Holography. It's a lot of people being led astray about what they supposed to be eating out here. A lot of people being led astray. Bamboozled, hoodwinked. You know what I mean? Gypped, finessed. You know what I mean? Played. You getting played out, fella. Big sis, little sis. You know what I mean? Because you can't follow your inner compass. Let's call it that. You can't even follow your inner compass. You gotta sit here and be led by motherfuckers who we don't really know what they're talking about or not. If they know what they're talking about. You see what I mean? That's groupthink. It's not just in the realm of you eating, it's groupthink in general. You know what I'm saying? People just saying stuff and they created this fucking rule, and then what I'm saying, you go sit here and abide by it. How do you know that rule is for you? Because that's something you can that can happen. Like you get a some sort of message and you think it's for everybody when it's really just for you, and you sitting out here broadcasting it to everybody, probably just for you, or just for a small group of people, like a certain group of people instead of the whole population. So I assume that you would be on my level if you're even caring to watch or hear what I got to say. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you could just exit out of here. Not, you don't have to listen to me ever again. But that's the lesson I learned dealing with all these diets. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Like the diet that I'm doing right now, this shit could change in the next week or the next month. Because I'm not, it's not just me sticking to the diet, it's me sticking to my intuition. And that's another thing. Some people don't, they don't realize that some diets they are interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just one thing you're eating the whole time. It's they can change. It can switch up. So what's on your plate today? What are you eating for supper? Tell me what you eating for supper. You know what I'm saying? The black community, we had dinner. We didn't have supper. Unless you was, what I'm saying, you was adopted or you was in a foster home with some, some white people eat supper. Because you can tell if it's supper or dinner, because supper is around 4:30, 5 o'clock, you know what I'm saying, in the evening or in the afternoon. Dinner is usually 9, you know what I'm saying. I remember my mom used to be cooking like at 12, 11, 1 o'clock at night and shit. You can tell when it's supper or when it's dinner, you know what I'm saying? Used to be eating dinner at 4:30. Like, oh, that's what y'all used to do in your house? We had, excuse me, we had to wait till like 8, 9, 10 o'clock. I mean, we had other things to eat in between, lunch and, what I'm saying, dinner, but supper is a pretty early meal. Let me tell you like that. Mhm. Now, like I said, man, you don't have to go by anything I just said in this, 50 something minute, video I just made. You don't have to. All I'm saying is my core message here is follow intuition. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, first and foremost, and know that you eat according to what you are trying to achieve. That's it. Like for example, if you're trying to gain weight, of course you would eat a lot of heavy carbs and a lot of thick ass red meats and do it like that. Because some you may have, like for example, if you're trying to do like a movie, it's a lot of actors that what I'm saying, they got to keep like be a part of some fitness or weight requirement for the role that they're playing. Like Christian Bale, for example, he's one of those real extreme method actors that do that. Like the movie Machinist, where he's damn near like 90 pounds. It's really just skin and bone. And then he played in the movie. What movie was that where he played Dick Cheney, who was I think it was like an advisor to George Bush or something like that, where he had to get thick in the neck and thick. You know what I'm saying? He had to thicken out. He had to, you know what I'm saying? So he's eating according to what he's trying to achieve. Now, I'm not saying that he has to do that for the rest of his life, but for the time of him trying to, play that role, he got to eat that type of food. And I've heard about a lot of Disney actors, like they got to be on a certain fitness and diet regimen too, because they got to stay muscular, stay fit for them to play the superheroes or the villains that they plan. You know what I mean? And then you got your anorexias and your bulimias, anorexic where they don't eat. And then bulimias where, they sit here and eat and then they throw it all back up. That disgusting ass shit. You know what I mean? Because you gotta understand a lot of this spiritual shit can border on some mental illness shit too. Sometimes the fine line between those two is dissolved and blurred. You know what I mean? So it looks crazy for some what I'm eating because of the spiritual shit that I'm doing. But to me, there's a full level of sanity. There's no insanity about what I'm doing. So this is symbolic dieting, eating symbolically. Even on that level, for example, what's something you can be eating symbolically where it helps you on a symbolic level? Um, what's something? I'm trying to think of something like right off the top of my dome. What's something like that? Uh, birds. You eating birds. You want to be more feathery in life. You want to be more. You want to have take flight. You know what I'm saying? You think this is a bullshit? Try it out and see if it happens. Start eating nothing but poultry and birds and game birds and stuff like that. And see, won't you start feeling fluttery and you want to fly, you want to glide like the eagles and shit like that? That's symbolic. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what it's supposed to do for your physical health, it's symbolic because of what you're actually putting in and putting in your body and consuming. Because you got to think about the first time someone ate meat. One of the things that if you was a hunter, you know what I'm saying, you would kill that tiger and eat the tiger meat, and then you would have the prowess and the power and the ferocity of the tiger. That's why you would eat a part of its flesh. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's all across the board, but and this is another reason why they would also wear the skin of the animal they killed, so that they can also embody the principles and the attributes of that animal. So you killed the tiger, then you can wear the tiger skin, and you know what I'm saying, now you have the ferocity of the tiger. You know what I mean? So it ain't just, when in a lot of conscious niggas will also start talking about how, your diet is not just what you put in your mouth, it's what you put on your skin, what you read, what you watch every day. That's part of your daily diet. So, take that what you will, you know what I mean? Take that what you will. But I'm talking about, for this video, I'm definitely honing in on, things you put in your mouth, chew, swallow, masticate, digest, and then shit out if you need to. If you want to be hotter, you want to, increase your heat, eat a lot of spicy foods. You know what I'm saying? Your anus might not like it, but hey, you getting the heat is building. You eating a lot of spicy shit. That's symbolic too. Because what are you trying to achieve? If you're trying to achieve that level of heat, you need some spicy shit. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a nutritionist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a, specialized, meal planner or preparer or anything like that. I'm just going by my own inner message, inner compass to know what to eat and what not to, and when to eat and when not to eat. Putting that in there, you know? So again, and this is Achad, author of Wholography. Learn how to read your existence, whether it's dreams, visions, meditations, accidents in life, so-called accidents, dealing with relationships, don't matter what it is. Learn how to read your existence as it unfolds. You know what I'm saying? It's right here on the screen, holographer.com/the-book. Donate to me with the Cashapp $ Alex064 and patreon.com/holography, where you get video access to videos that will never be on this public YouTube channel. And I'll see you later. I hope that you get the chance to eat supper today and not dinner, you know what I'm saying, right before you go to sleep. And I'll check you out, man.